Hello, dear children. In this video, we are continuing with our discussion of laws of returns. Okay, so the topic here today is law of variable proportions. So, what do you mean by the law of variable proportions? So, as the name it suggests, okay, variable proportions. So, here we can see that there is a variation out here. Okay, so the variation in what? The variation in terms of number of inputs that is used. Okay, I mean the variable inputs, okay, that is your labor, and the variation in the total product, okay, due to the change in the variation of variable products. So the law states that variable proportions, okay, states that as more and more units of a variable factor are applied to the given quantity of a fixed factor, total product may increase at an increasing rate initially. Okay, it may, okay, increase at an increasing rate initially, but eventually it will increase at a decreasing rate. So to a given amount of fixed factor, if you apply more and more units of variable factors, okay, so the total product, it will increase at an increasing rate initially. Okay, for example, there are only two labors, okay, and the output was let us say 4. Okay, now if you include one more extra labor, okay, there are now 3 labors, so the output it may go up to 7. Okay, and then the fourth labor, if you include, then the output may be 9 or 10, okay, initially. But as you keep on adding extra amount of labor into the production house, the total product, it will increase, but at a decreasing rate. So what does it mean? So let us just try to understand. But before we go in depth, we must understand the assumptions of the law. Okay, so what are the assumptions of the law? So the assumptions are: number one, the state of technology is given and remain unchanged. So whatever the technology that a production uh, house is using, or an economic firm is using, it will remain same. Okay, it will not be changed. Okay, for example, if you are using Windows 10, then you will not upgrade to the next level of window. Okay, it will remain same, Windows 10 only. Okay, if you are using a version, any version of your software, okay, whatever is given in that time period, so it will remain constant, it will not be upgraded. Okay, now the second assumption is that some inputs are kept fixed and while others are varied. So as we have already discussed, that this law of variable proportion, it is applicable only in case of the short run period. So in the short run period, one factor is fixed and the other one is the variable factor. Okay, so we already know the second assumption. So the third assumption is the given technology is such that it is possible to change the factor proportions. Okay, so the factor proportions, it can be changed. Okay, the law will not apply in situations where the factors must be used in fixed proportions. So what do you mean by the factor proportions now, that you can change the factor proportions? For example, if you have a fixed capital of rupees 10,000, okay, I'm giving you the example in terms of monetary value, so hope you can understand that part. So there is a fixed capital of rupees 10,000, and then you want to involve more and more number of labors. Okay, so by fixed capital, we are referring to the fixed, uh, what do you say, the fixed factor, okay, or the fixed asset. Okay, so if you want to increase more and more labor to increase the level of output, okay, so you will hire more and more number of labor force. Okay, so and again it will cost you. Okay, when you hire the laborers, you have to pay the labor charges, isn't it? So that labor will also cost. So let us assume that the ratio between the fixed factor and the variable factor was 1:1. Okay, assuming that fixed asset or the capital or fixed factor was rupees 10,000 in case of monetary value, and the labor was also 10,000 previously. Okay, but if you want to increase the level of output, so you hire more and more labor force, isn't it? So when you hire extra amount of the labors, it will cost you extra. Okay, so then it will increase 11,000, 12,000, okay, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, 30,000. So that is the change in the factor proportion. Okay, so now the ratio, it will be changed, isn't it? So it is assumed that there is a possibility with that given technology that you can change the factor proportions. Okay, now the fourth one, it is assumed that all the units of the variable factor are homogeneous and are equally efficient. So the variable factor, okay, so whatever the extra amount of the labor force that you are including, they are homogeneous. By homogeneous, we mean that they are same and they are equally efficient. Okay, all the labor force are equally efficient and they are homogeneous. Let us say that the labors, whatever the amount of labors that you are hiring in, let us suppose that they are homogeneous. Let us say if they are male, okay, so then you will hire only the male labor force in your business house, okay, and they are equally efficient. So uh, they can work for the equal amount of the working hours, and they will be having the equal amount of productivity. Okay, so if one labor force uh, is able to produce 1,000 units of a given commodity, then all the labors, okay, whatever the extra labor that you are hiring will also be able to produce 1,000 units of a given product. Okay, so these are your assumptions. Now let us see. So I have used the same table that we have used in our previous discussion also. Okay, so here you can see that this is your fixed factor. Okay, it is constant throughout the entire process. Okay, and your variable factor, it keeps on changing. Okay, so it increases from 1 to 6 out here. Okay, and this is your average product, and this is your marginal product, and this is your total product. So previously we have seen the relationship between the MP and TP, okay, and also the relationship between the MP and AP. Okay, so only after you understand the relationship between AP, MP, and TP, then you can continue with this discussion. Okay, so if you have not watched the previous video properly, or if you have any kind of doubts, please refer to the video and you can ask me the question, then only we can proceed with this. Okay, so assuming that we know the relationship between these three, okay, AP, MP, and TP, what we can observe out here in this table, as you can see out here, that your AP is increasing, okay, to a certain extent, okay, so it is your maximum point, okay, so AP is at its maximum when it is equals to the MP, okay, so after that point, okay, beyond this point, it starts to fall, and MP falls drastically, okay, and your TP also increases, okay, so it is increasing out here, okay, so it is increasing, initially it is increasing, okay, till this point it will be increasing, okay, so TP will increase at a increasing rate, but beyond this point, okay, when your MP starts to fall, it will increase obviously, but at a decreasing rate, because both MP and AP are falling, so TP will be also affected. However, it will not fall, it will increase, but at a decreasing rate. Okay, and ultimately we can see out here that TP will also decline when your MP becomes negative. So this is what we refer to. Okay, so this is what we mean by increasing returns. Okay, so initially it increases. Okay, so this is known as your increasing returns. Okay, more the labor force, more the output in an increasing rate. Okay, now this is your area where TP increases, okay, but at a decreasing rate. Okay, so ultimately it will be decreasing out here when your MP is negative. So let us see what are the observations that we have uh, highlighted out here. So let us see the first observation. One factor is assumed to be constant, and the others will be unchanged. And it will be unchanged. Okay, so fixed. This is your fixed factor. Okay, it will be 1, and the variable factor is changing out here. Okay, and it is increasing from 1 to 6. Okay, so now as the amount of variable factor increases, the total output also increases until the fifth unit of variable factor is employed. So you can see out here, so until this fifth unit of variable factor that you have included out here, TP, it continuously it increases. Okay, 10, 30, 45, 52, 52. Okay, so until the fifth unit of variable factor that is employed out here, your TP will increase. Okay, but beyond this point, it will decrease. Okay, so why it is so? It is because of the relationship between the MP and AP, so that your TP is going to be affected. Okay, so basically you can see out here that MP is the main cause of. Okay, so initially the TP increases at an increasing rate, and therefore MP also rises. So you can see out here, so TP is increasing at an increasing rate and your MP is also increasing. So till this point. Okay, so until the second unit of the variable factor that is employed. Okay, 10, 30, MP is also increasing. Okay, and it will give rise to your AP also, by the way. Okay, so all these three will be increasing. TP also increases, MP also increases, and AP also increases initially at an increasing rate. Okay, but beyond the second unit of the variable factor, as you can see out here, your MP starts to fall. Okay, so when your MP starts to fall, AP will also be affected. Okay, and when MP and AP are equal to each other, so always remember that this is your point beyond which both AP and MP will fall. But we have already discussed in the previous uh, lecture video that compared to AP, MP falls drastically. Okay, so ultimately it will be negative. I mean, this MP will be negative. Okay, and the TP will increase. Okay, at this point, TP will increase until and unless your MP is 0. Your TP will increase, but at a decreasing rate. Okay, so now we can see out here that this is your increasing return. Okay, and this is your decreasing return, and you can see out here when MP is negative, so this is known as your negative returns. So let us see out here, so that there are three stages of production. Okay, so the stage 1 is your stage of increasing returns, and the second one is the stage of diminishing returns, and the third one is the stage of negative returns. So let us try to see uh, what is happening out here in these stages. Okay, stage 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so in stage 1, what happens is TP initially it increases at an increasing rate, but afterwards, after a certain point, yeah, this is your point out here, beyond this 30, okay, 45, 52, 52, okay, it increases but at a decreasing rate. Now MP it uh, reaches the maximum and starts to decrease. MP, this is the maximum point, but beyond which it will decrease. Okay, so TP is increasing initially. Okay, again it will increase but at a decreasing rate. Okay, and MP will starts to fall. And if you talk about AP will continue to increase. Okay, AP will increase and reach the maximum point. As we can see out here in this table, it has reached the maximum point. Okay, till 15. And in stage 2, okay, this is the stage of diminishing returns. So TP, it continues to increase. So it will continue to increase out here. Yes, it is increasing, but at a decreasing rate. Okay, and MP, it continues to decrease and ultimately becomes 0, 15, 7, and 0. So this is your point of the diminishing returns. Okay, and AP, if you talk about AP, from maximum it begins to decrease. So 15 was the maximum point. So beyond which it will starts to fall. But remember that AP can never be 0. Okay. However, this MP can be 0, but AP can never be 0. Okay. And in stage 3, we can see that TP, it starts to diminish in the case of the negative returns. Okay. So uh, you can see out here. So see 52 and 48. So it starts to decrease now. Okay. And MP becomes negative. AP starts to fall. AP will continue to fall. Okay. So this AP, it started to fall from the second stage. Okay. When after becoming after reaching the maximum point, it starts to decrease. So in stage 3 also, AP, it will continue to decrease, but it will always remain positive, but MP becomes negative. Okay. So let us see with this graph out here. So you can see out here that this line, okay, all three lines, okay, be it MP, AP, and TP, it starts from the origin only. Okay. So this is your TP, total product, and these are your uh, sorry, this is your MP, okay, and this one is your AP. Understood? So this is your stage 1. Okay, so this is your stage 1, and this is a stage 2, and this is your stage 3. So you can see it out here that up to this point, okay, to this point A, your TP will increase at an increasing rate, but after this point, after reaching this point, this point is known as the point of inflection. Okay. uh, this sorry After reaching this inflection point, your TP will starts to increase, but at a decreasing rate. Okay. But it will continue to increase. Remember, it will continue to increase, but at a decreasing rate. Okay. And you can see out here for MP, it increases, it reaches the maximum point out here. Okay. And it starts to fall. Okay. So remember that when MP reaches the maximum point, okay, so that is actually the point of your inflection. Okay. So after that point, TP will starts to fall. TP will starts to increase at a decreasing rate, but MP will starts to fall. Okay. So that's the point of the inflection. Now for AP, AP will continue to increase. Okay. AP will continue to increase in the stage 1. Now in stage 2, what happens is that your TP will continue to increase, but at a decreasing rate. Okay. So this continuation of increase was already started in the stage 1 only. Okay. After crossing this inflection point. Okay. So it continues to increase at a decreasing rate. Okay. And AP, after reaching the maximum point, now it starts to fall in the stage 2, and MP, it continues to decrease. Okay. And in the stage 3, what happens is that when your MP becomes negative, so when this MP is 0 out here, okay, when your MP becomes 0, TP is the maximum. TP is at its highest point. Okay. So after that point, after this point, that is your point F, when MP starts to become negative, your TP will fall. Okay. And AP will continue to fall again, but AP can never be 0. Okay, so let us try to explain why this happens. Okay, why there is increasing returns, diminishing returns, and the negative returns. So the causes are very simple. Okay, let us discuss them one by one. So number one, causes of increasing returns. Number one, fuller utilization of fixed factors. So it has been assumed that the fixed factors will be utilized fully. Okay, and we uh, completely utilize the fixed factors up to the fullest. Okay, so this is the point of the, I mean, this is the area where we can see that is the optimization of your fixed factors. Okay, hence the number of labors will also be able to use that fixed factors, assuming that there are limited number of labor force, okay, or the variable factors, okay, so that we can use them. Okay, now point number two, increase in efficiency. So as the number of your variable factor, it increases, okay, when you are including more and more units of labor force, as you can see here in the stage one, uh, 1 2. So when you continue to increase your labor force, it will bring efficiency in your what do you say, factory or in the work environment. Okay, so they will uh, increase the efficiency. Okay, so the variable factor itself, it already has the equal amount of homogeneity and the equal amount of efficiency, isn't it? So the more the labor force, the more the efficient performance can be seen. Okay, it can be observed. Okay, but now what are the causes of the diminishing returns? So what happens when the diminishing returns occurs? Okay, number one, disturbing the optimum factor proportion. So as you keep on increasing the number of labor force in your factory or in your company, what happens is that that ratio between the fixed factor and the variable factor will be disturbed. Okay, so as you already know that the fixed factors are indivisible. Okay, it cannot be divided. Okay, now let me just tell you the example of our classroom only. Okay, so let us say that there are only uh, 20 places there. Okay, 20 chairs are there, let us just assume. Okay, in a room. So and we are already 17 students, isn't it? So 17 students can uh, accommodate. Okay, so they can sit out there, and we can increase the number of the students. Okay, so we can hire, okay, extra number of students in our classroom up to the 3 numbers. Okay, but if you bring more and more students into the classroom, what will happen? That ratio of chairs and the students, it gets disturbed. So the same thing happens in the factory also. Okay, so the ratio between the fixed factor and the variable factor, it gets disturbed. So it causes the diminishing returns, and it affects the efficiency also. Okay, because MP will start to fall at this point. Okay, so the MP, it reaches the maximum point in this increasing returns. Okay, efficiency will be at the optimum level. Okay, but after this point, what happens is that since the ratio has been disturbed, so MP will start to fall. Okay, now the imperfect substitutability of the factors of production. Yes, so the factors of production cannot be substituted by the other one. Okay, for example, if you want to substitute labor by land and land by labor, or this capital by organization, it cannot be possible. So there is no perfect substitution for each factors of production. So this is also one of the biggest cause of the diminishing returns. Okay, because uh, if you add more and more number of labor force, okay, uh, and the fixed factors are already constant, okay, and you cannot substitute or you cannot change the ratio by saying that, oh, let's come, okay, let's assume that these 10 number of labors are the fixed factors and the remaining are the variable factors. So you cannot add these 10 labor force into your fixed factor. Okay, so you cannot substitute your fixed capital with the labor. Okay, you can never substitute land with labor or capital with labor. Okay, now what are the causes of the negative returns? Number one, overcrowding. As we have already discussed out here in this point number one, that the this factor proportion will be disturbed. Okay, so when we are adding more and more students in the classroom, what will happen? There will be overcrowding. Okay, there will be less number of work and more number of labor force. Okay, they have to produce, let us say, in a business house or in a factory, uh, uh, 500 units of a commodity, and the labors are well efficient. Okay, so if you hire more and more number of labors, okay, then the unwanted situation will be created and there will be overcrowding. Okay, and the last one, management. So there will create the management problem also. Why? Because of this only, overcrowding. When there are too many laborers, okay, working in the factory, then the responsibility may be shifted from one labor to the other labor. Okay, if I give any task to any labor, okay, so then the labor may shift his or her responsibility to the other one. Okay, and it will be very difficult for the management to control them. Okay, so I hope you have already studied uh, the functions of management. Okay, one is called staffing, the other one is called controlling, okay, directing, so coordinating. All things will get hodgepodge out here. Okay, so management will never be able to manage those number of labors out here. Okay, so this is the end of the third lecture video. Okay, so but before I end this video, I just want to tell you that there is one more point out here: stages of operation and the decision to produce. So uh, firm will choose only the second stage, that is the diminishing returns. Okay, firms will choose uh, the stage 2 only. Okay, firms will not choose stage 1. Stage 3, obviously no one will choose it, because MP is already negative out here and TP is your diminishing and AP is decreasing. So the third stage is not possible for them to uh, choose this. Okay, it is very much rational out here. And stage 1 also, they will not choose, because out here what is happening is TP is increasing. Okay, and MP is increasing, but yeah, after a certain point of time it will starts to fall. AP will also increase and reaches the maximum point. So what happens is that in the stage 1, okay, in stage 1, however the average product of a factor is increasing throughout the entire stage. If you can see out here, uh, producer will try to avoid this. Okay, because it ultimately reduces the average cost, so they don't want to do this. And since the TP, if you see from the management perspective, TP is continuously increasing. So to keep all those output, okay, to manage those output, it will be very much difficult. Okay, you have to bear the carrying cost also. Okay, and you need to find a better place or a better location, or you may have to build a new warehouse to store all those output. Okay, so stage 1 will also not be uh, chosen. Only the stage 2 will be chosen. Okay,